I am Mia, a woman in my 50s who lives alone. My beloved husband passed away a few years ago from a heart attack, and my son has since gotten married and lives elsewhere. It's not that I ever wanted my son to live with me, but I can't deny that I feel lonely. The reason I didn't want him to live with me is because my own mother experienced harassment, making me realize that the conflict between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law can be complicated. To be honest, I didn't particularly like my own grandmother, and I believe that in any family, there can be various issues with the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. Additionally, I wasn't too fond of my son's wife, Emily. I found Emily to be condescending and often speaking down to others, so I felt we were not a good match. Here's how it went during a family meeting.
This is my fiance, Emily. Isn't she beautiful, Mom?
Nice to meet you. My name is Emily. We're going to get married. No, the pleasure is mine. I'm happy my son is getting married. Let's have a chat over coffee. Thank you. Please help yourself to some snacks if you'd like. Wait, is this handmade, Mia? Yes, I baked my signature cheesecake. Is it not to your taste? Sorry, it's just that handmade sweets seem so poor.
Sorry, Emily. Mom's just into making everything by hand. Haha, it's hilarious.
I was dumbfounded because even my son joined in the laughter. I've always enjoyed baking and fed my son lots of homemade food since he was young. Had he always thought it seemed poor? Afterward, Emily spat out the cheesecake she had eaten and laughed. It was distasteful and very unpleasant. According to my son, Emily comes from a good family, but her words and actions leave much to be desired. Since they got married, every time we meet, she never fails to make snide remarks, and it's tiring. Also, I don't get along with Emily's parents either. Emily's mother, Elizabeth, always acts superior, and her father, Logan, carries himself as if he were a king. Logan is the president of a small to medium-sized company, and Elizabeth occasionally appears at the company, but is primarily a housewife. For some reason, Elizabeth looks down on me for still working. It must be tough having to work even in your 50s. Well, I suppose you're not getting much in terms of survivor benefits since your husband passed away. I wouldn't want to work so hard at this age. Ah, is that so? Of course! Women find true happiness when they become housewives. You've been working all the time, so you probably didn't give Mason much love, did you? That's not true. I loved Mason. Really? I always think working mothers are cutting corners in parenting. I'm happy that Emily has become a housewife. Women should focus on the household chores after quitting their jobs. Despite being of the same age as me, Elizabeth had very outdated views. It's not that being a housewife is bad, but commenting on other people's lifestyles as if she's some kind of authority was annoying. Frankly, I wish she'd just mind her own business. Now I've somehow ended up agreeing to go on a trip with Emily's irritating parents, which has me quite bewildered. It's the year-end holidays and I have time off work. Out of the blue, Elizabeth called and invited me. What's more, they've already booked a luxury hotel and airline tickets. Given the situation, I had no choice but to agree. I arrived just before the scheduled 10 a.m. meeting time at the airport terminal. Then, Mason, Emily, Logan, and Elizabeth showed up carrying large bags. Thank you for inviting me. I feel somewhat guilty though. Oh, don't mention it. Let's board. Here's everyone's tickets that we bought in advance. Mom, you're so organized. Sorry, Mia. I don't have a ticket for you. What? I forgot to buy your airplane ticket, so you'll have to get there by boat. It'll take 10 hours. Wait, what?
Mom, taking a boat is hilarious. It suits you. We'll wait for you in Los Angeles. Well, that's how it is. Take your time getting there.
Sure, but are you guys really okay with this?
Huh?
I'm fine, but are you sure you want to leave me behind?
What are you talking about? We won't have any issues. Just be aware, if your back hurts from the boat ride, it's not our problem.
See you there. We'll be enjoying ourselves at the luxury hotel.
I'm going to order so much room service.
Logan, let's have lots of drinks. They all walked through the gate laughing. Left alone, I almost crushed my mobile phone in a fit of rage. Why do I have to be subjected to such cruelty? I thought coming here would be a chance to get along well with everyone, but this makes me look like a complete fool. No, I must have actually been a fool to fall for this. Logan and Elizabeth must have been plotting to bully me and excluding me from the start. I'll definitely get back at them. I won't forgive them. Just watch. I'll make sure they can't fight back. Muttering to myself as I left the station, I must have looked like a scary old lady to those around me. My face this time must have been filled with anger. When I got home, I opened my mobile phone. I finished my work quickly and closed it, then took a short nap. When I woke up, there were a ton of WhatsApp notifications on my phone. Curious, I checked them and found they were from Elizabeth. Since I turn off notifications when I sleep, I didn't notice. When I made a WhatsApp call, an infuriated Elizabeth answered, "How dare you do that to me?" What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You uploaded that conversation on a video site, didn't you? Ah, you mean the short video? It's going viral. It's even creating a buzz on major forums now. What did you just say? There's even a thread called Evil Witch Aunt, and it's already up to part 10. Where do I come off as an evil witch aunt? I'm a classy and refined lady. Don't underestimate me. Oh, you weren't aware that you're mean? That's a serious issue. Don't you think you can make a fool of me? Because of you, I've been bombarded with messages from friends who saw that video, and it's ruining my vacation mood. Is that so? But the one at fault is you, Elizabeth. I just uploaded the audio. I didn't record it illegally or anything. What are you saying? You are the real evil witch aunt. You must be doing this out of jealousy because you're not as wealthy as I am. You're envious of everything about me, aren't you? Not envious at all. After all, Elizabeth, you're being deceived by Logan. My late husband really cherished me, but Logan has someone more important than you, Elizabeth. What? His affair partner. What are you saying? The real reason you went on that trip was so Logan could secretly meet a local woman there. Upon hearing that, Elizabeth was lost for words. The truth is, Logan was seeing a woman at the vacation destination. I knew this because the woman had posted a video with Logan on the video site that I frequent as a hobby. The woman he was cheating with appeared to be in her late 20s, not much different in age from his daughter, Emily. It's quite disgusting to have such a relationship with a woman not much older than one's own daughter. I couldn't post anything too explicit since that would lead to account suspension, but they were doing what lovers do, looking happy together. The linked blog was filled with diary entries detailing what she and Logan did, described explicitly. It seems like this woman is currently writing a blog post. She's probably posting it from her mobile phone. I'll send you the link. Wait. Go ahead. Read it. What is this? Oh no! Elizabeth probably read a few lines. She was screaming quite loudly. I wish she'd stop because she was going to ruin my ears with that screaming. Apparently Logan had told her he was going for a little walk alone, but actually went to meet that woman. Then it seemed that Logan returned to the room while the call was still connected.
Oh, what a wonderful view I just took in. Where were you? Just took a walk around the area. Did you want to come along, Elizabeth? Don't lie. What's this diary? You were with the woman who wrote this diary, weren't you? What is the meaning of this? Why is your affair partner here? Well, it's a local thing, look, I met her when I was here on business. We had some drinks and got friendly, but I didn't do anything sketchy. What? This diary talks about all sorts of things you did together, you pervert. But Mason did the same. What? Wait, Logan? Mason was at the bar with me, drinking and hitting on other women. After that, we both went to that sort of place.
What did you just say?
Mason, what is the meaning of this?
Emily, calm down. I didn't do anything. I was just drinking with a woman, that's all. I won't let Mason be the only one to pretend he's innocent. I'm taking you down with me. That's terrible. Why am I being dragged into this? I'm your son-in-law. Defend me. Shut up. All of this is your mother's fault. That's awful. And here I thought we got along so well.
In fact, Mason's workplace has a business relationship with Logan's company. That's why they often went out for drinks together. Although the relationship of in-laws and business partners may be unusual, it seems they've been getting along well. At one point, Logan's company and Mason's company ran into some trouble and had to go apologize to a client. The destination for this trip happened to be the same place they were vacationing. There, after begging for forgiveness, they decided to go out for drinks and apparently got carried away. They ended up flirting with women and developing relationships and have been visiting privately multiple times.
So when you two said you were going surfing and snorkeling together, that was a lie? Well, you see, what about mountain climbing together?
That was a lie too.
That's terrible. This is too much. I can't believe it. See, I didn't do anything.
You did. I know what you did. This and that.
Please don't spill it.
Mason is neither an adopted son-in-law nor anything like that, but it seems he was fond of Logan. It's outrageous that both of them had been going there to meet women and have a good time repeatedly. I knew Logan was cheating, so I kept that knowledge as a trump card to use against him someday. But I was shocked to find out my son was doing the same thing. What on earth are they doing, even when they go to Los Angeles? Saying it's a family vacation but actually meeting up with mistresses? The thought makes me nauseous. Realizing I've been made a fool of by these people, I felt pathetic. Then Elizabeth started yelling on the phone again.
This mess is your fault. Mia, apologize.
No, I won't apologize.
What? You're just poor and jealous of me. So you're trying to ruin my family, aren't you? You're the worst, a demon.
You're the demon, Elizabeth, because you were flirting with a young man, weren't you?
What?
An employee of my company said you approached him and made him uncomfortable.
Wait, your company's employee?
Yes, I'm the CEO. You've heard of XX Foods, right? You thought I was just a part-timer there, but actually, I run the place.
What? The famous XX Foods?
Yes, I worked my way up and became the CEO.
You're even more of a high society person than I am.
Yes, that's right. I'm not struggling at all, and certainly don't envy you, especially after what you did to my employee.
I didn't do anything. I just spoke to him because he was cleaning the front entrance.
He said you made him uncomfortable. I hesitate to say it, but what you did was totally inappropriate.
Oh my God.
In my company, we have a cleaning duty rostered, and it appears you specifically showed up when that man was on duty and made physical contact with him. As a result, he's now afraid to come to work and is on leave. What will you do if you're sued? His spouse and parents seem quite upset as well.
Stop it, please. I'll apologize. I swear I won't do it again.
It's not up to me to forgive you. That's for my male employee to decide. Elizabeth used to jog past our company building. At that time, she noticed Alexander, a young, handsome man on cleaning duty, and started behaving inappropriately towards him. Alexander was nervous because Elizabeth always approached him on his Monday cleaning duty. It seemed like he was holding back because the other person was a woman. He felt he couldn't be too confrontational, worried that if he didn't anything, he might be the one getting sued. However, as Elizabeth became more brazen, things started to escalate, pushing them to the brink emotionally. And so they fell ill and are currently on leave from work. When Alexander said he was taking time off work, I initially thought it was due to job-related stress. But then I received an email from Alexander with photos explaining that he was being harassed by this woman. Seeing that, I decided to corner this demonic Elizabeth completely. I can forgive her making a fool out of me, but causing stress to my employees is unacceptable. Alexander is a young man, not much different in age from my son or daughter-in-law. Thinking about how Elizabeth was targeting someone so young made me feel utterly disgusted. With Alexander's consent, I forwarded those photos in the story to Logan's WhatsApp. It turned out to be a miserable situation. A battlefield unfolded on the other end of the phone again.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? How dare you go after a younger man?
But it wasn't just me doing it. He had nothing to do with it.
Shut up. You're just a creepy old stalker. I'm divorcing you.
What? You've been having an affair too. You owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars in alimony.
Silence, I'm not giving you a dime.
I don't need you either.
Wait, Emily!
Never call me by my name again. It appears a big argument broke out at a luxury hotel in Los Angeles. After that, Logan and Elizabeth got divorced. Well, Logan was the one who had an affair, so Elizabeth received alimony, but she had to pay the same damages when Alexander sued her for harassment. So it's like she just passed along the alimony she received from Logan. Afterwards, Elizabeth told me she needed work and asked if I could hire her, but I refused. I don't need someone who causes such problems. My son also divorced Emily, and it turns out she's pregnant, so they're having issues. My son is an idiot too, and I've lost the will to help him. I wonder where I went wrong in raising him, but I keep telling myself he's an adult, and it's not solely my fault. Now that I've had my revenge, I plan to work even harder as a president from now on.
My name is Kelly, and I'm 34 years old. I've been married to Sean for 5 years. The year we got married, we were blessed with a daughter named Yvonne, and together, we've built a happy home. Yes, we were happy. Just an ordinary family, enjoying our everyday happiness as if it were the most natural thing in the world. I never doubted that these days would last forever. It all started with one sentence I said. "Hey, Sean. I'm thinking of going back to work once Yvonne starts elementary school." It was something I had been considering for a long time. My job requires a specialized certification, and I believe I was quite valued in the field. I pursued this certification out of passion, and of course, I loved my job. So, I planned to return to work when a milestone in parenting was reached. However, whenever I brought up this topic, Sean would make a sour face. "What? You going back to work? You're a stay-at-home mom now, aren't you? I need you to continue supporting me and our home, and now you're talking about this? We don't need extra money more than what I earn. It's pointless." But that's not pointless. Sure, I think your earnings are good, but that might not always be the case. Having extra money wouldn't be a problem for Yvonne's sake, right? Of course, I plan to balance both work and home life. So, enough. There's absolutely no need for you to work outside. End of discussion. Just go and prepare dinner already. And just like that, he would dismiss the conversation, making it impossible to discuss further. Sean belongs to what you might call the elite class, having graduated from a prestigious university and working at a well-known corporation with a good salary. He must be proud of his achievements. There were times when he would speak to me in a condescending manner. Lately, his harsh tone has become more frequent, dismissing my words outright. Honestly, it made me feel bad and sad. We're supposed to be partners and a family. I thought he would support me, but he outright rejected the idea so dismissively. I bit my lip. Since then, whenever I tried to bring up the topic of returning to work, Sean would blatantly show his displeasure, and at times, he would shout, pretending not to hear me. Or he would just completely ignore me, like, "Hey, Sean." Refusing to have a proper discussion, acting childishly. I never thought that discussing my return to work would lead to such a dispute. The relationship between Sean and me visibly deteriorated. He started ignoring me even in daily conversations, and it seemed he disliked being in the same space as me, quickly retreating to his room. I was troubled. Is it my fault? If I apologize and endure, would everything be smoothed over? Sean adores our daughter Yvonne, and, since he started ignoring me, he often goes out with her without telling me. If it means he's a good father to her, should I back down and resolve the discord in our family? While I was troubled by these thoughts, an event that would decide the fate of our marriage occurred. That day, Sean had left home early in the morning for a business trip. He's always had a job that requires frequent travel, but lately, he's been going on business trips even more often. I can't help but think negatively, wondering if he's choosing to go on these trips just to avoid being in the same house as me. No, I shouldn't be so weak. I shook my head to clear those thoughts. After dropping Yvonne off at daycare, I returned home alone and rolled up my sleeves, determined. When Sean is away on business trips, cleaning his study, which is his workspace, has been my routine. I've continued to do so even though our relationship has become awkward. I no longer receive words of gratitude like we used to when we were newlyweds. I picked up the vacuum cleaner and opened the door to the study. And just about 10 minutes into cleaning, I found something. What? I stumbled upon a completed divorce form. What is this? For a moment, I couldn't comprehend what was happening. I had never seen a real divorce form before, but why was it here, filled out in Sean's meticulous handwriting, with Sean's name on it? I panicked, my mind entangled. My legs wobbled, and my hands, seeking support, knocked down books and documents on the desk. Books and documents fell with a rustle, and among them, fluttering down, was a photo of a woman I didn't recognize. Mixed in were photos of her and Sean, looking close and affectionate. Ah! I gathered the photos from the floor and my eyes widened. This woman, could it really be? I clutched the photo, trembling. Witnessing Sean's betrayal filled my heart with sadness and disappointment. Then, what surged next was anger. A fierce anger that seemed to erase the initial sadness and disappointment. Unforgivable. This wasn't just a betrayal against me, but also against Yvonne. I spread out the photos and divorce papers I had collected on the desk. So, that's what it was all about. Just you wait. I made up my mind and resumed cleaning as if nothing had happened. Focusing on cleaning seemed to help organize my thoughts as well. While moving my hands, I pondered. When had Sean started being unfaithful? Was it from that time, or perhaps even before? I replayed a scene in my mind that I had witnessed about 6 months ago. It was when I was catching up with my friend Lisa at a coffee shop. Isn't that Kelly's husband? What? When Lisa pointed out, I turned my eyes towards the sidewalk on the other side of the window glass, and indeed, there was Sean. I tilted my head. He should have gone to work as usual this morning, but he was walking in casual clothes, not in a suit. Really? You noticed well, Lisa. I saw his face at the wedding, you know. I have a good memory. Despite being proud, Lisa's comment couldn't keep me from focusing on Sean walking down the street. Sensing something, Lisa suggested, should we follow him? So, we left the coffee shop. Sean, unaware of us, walked briskly and with ease. And then... What? He seemed to have a rendezvous with a woman as he quickly approached her, and they walked off arm in arm. Who is that woman? Wait, Kelly! Lisa called me with a panicked voice. Before I knew it, I was recording a video with my smartphone in hand. Lisa urged me, so I took out my smartphone and captured Sean and the woman. They were walking and talking as if they were close, disappearing in the direction of a row of hotels. So, what's this all about? Lisa looked at me awkwardly. Then, after checking my frozen expression, she comforted me kindly. You can always rely on me when you need to. With these encouraging words from my friend, I trudged back home. That night, Sean returned home in his suit as usual, loudly saying, I'm so tired today, and handed me his jacket. In hindsight, I wonder why I didn't confront him then. Even though I had evidence in my hand, I couldn't bring myself to question Sean. Somewhere in my heart, I was muddled with thoughts like maybe it was a misunderstanding, maybe that woman was a colleague from work, and maybe it wasn't what it seemed. The feelings of doubt and wanting to believe in Sean were at war, nearly overwhelming me. Sean acted as if nothing was different. Today, he was doting on Yvonne with a smitten face. Eventually, I let that incident fade from my memory, convincing myself it must have been some mistake. But not anymore. A rage greater than my sorrow and disappointment spurred me into action. I was determined to clarify everything and to bring closure to our marriage with Sean. After finishing the cleaning, I watched the video saved on my smartphone again. I was glad I hadn't deleted it. The next day, I started gathering evidence of Sean's infidelity in earnest. After dropping Yvonne off at daycare and returning home, I decided to delve into Sean's study again. First, I decided to start with the computer. This computer was shared between us, and I occasionally used it as well. I knew the password to my husband's account because it was stuck to the back of the desk. For someone who prides himself on being an elite, this kind of carelessness was once endearing. Now, it's not cute at all, and rather, I should probably be thankful for this oversight. As expected, when I turned on the computer, I found plenty of photos that could serve as evidence. Photos of them acting like a young couple, disgustingly edited with heart emojis flying around. The completed divorce papers were placed right where they'd catch my eye as soon as I entered the room. And the photos seemed like they'd just fall out if I moved something slightly. To think it was this obvious all along makes me feel foolish for all the anguish I went through. No, I actually was foolish. Even after witnessing Sean and that woman together, I still wanted to believe in him. I've been foolish all along. And Sean must have been laughing at me. He probably thought he'd never get caught cheating. Did he see me as a convenient person who wouldn't notice the affair and just keep taking care of things diligently? Thinking about it makes my anger boil up again. Now, this anger is my driving force. I printed all the photos with the printer. I decided to hire a private investigator, a classic move for infidelity investigations. Based on the photos and videos, I started looking into the other woman. It turns out she was indeed a subordinate at Sean's company. Regardless of their real relationship, it seems my guess of a subordinate at the company was correct. She's younger and prettier than me. I don't know about at work, but she seems to dress quite flashy and enjoys going out. Looking at it, I can't help but wonder if Sean is the one being played. As the day of Sean's return neared, I decided to install a listening device in the study to gather more evidence. I'm beat! My husband greeted me at the entrance with his jacket and suitcase, speaking loudly as always. Welcome home. You really worked hard. I received his belongings with a smile. Sean looked at me a bit startled, then stared at me intently. What's with the good mood? Geez, if only you greeted me like this all the time. I'm sorry. I guess I didn't have enough patience. I truly am always grateful to you. Thank you, really. Oh, well, as long as you get it, that's fine. I'm gonna hit the shower first. Sean seemed satisfied with my reaction, strutted off proudly, and hurried to the changing room. I thought my acting was pretty wooden, but to my surprise, I fooled him easily, which was somewhat anticlimactic. I immediately took Sean's smartphone from his belongings and started looking for exchanges with his affair partner. By the way, the password for his smartphone was the same as his computer's. Way too careless. I found the exchanges quite easily. Unbecomingly for his age, they were full of heart emojis at the end of sentences. Disgusting messages. I took some photos of these screens with my own smartphone. It felt like just another task, devoid of any emotion. Of course, my anger towards Sean was still present, but it was almost hidden by a sense of nothingness. All I could think about now was how to show him I wasn't to be trifled with. After taking the evidence photos and putting Sean's smartphone back, I took a moment to breathe just as Sean came up from his bath. As instructed by Sean, I prepared beer and snacks. Hey, is Yvonne already asleep? I wanted to see her face. Yeah, it's already 10 p.m. She was looking forward to seeing you too. I see. Maybe I'll check on her for a bit before bed. From such a harmless conversation, we moved on to talk about his recent business trip. Sean, with a beer in hand, went on and on about how tough this job was and how amazing he was to be entrusted with it. I responded with almost scripted words of praise. Wow, that's impressive, as expected, you worked hard. Still, Sean seemed satisfied, which made me realize he really wasn't listening to my words, nor did he care. Then, I decided to probe a little. Sean, you're truly amazing. The people who work under you are lucky to have such an incredible boss. Right. You're finally getting how great I am. Those subordinates of mine are useless without me. I have to guide them properly or they're hopeless. Just a bunch of useless trash. They need to work harder. As the alcohol kicked in, Sean's voice grew louder. Though his words were unbearable to listen to, I kept going. That's so. I don't know much about it. But it's no small feat to guide your subordinates outside of work too. You're really something. Yeah, that's right. Outside of work, too, huh? Outside of work? Yes. The other day, you were walking in casual clothes during a weekday with a woman I don't know. I thought maybe you were guiding a subordinate, so I didn't say anything, but, huh? Was I mistaken? Well, that is... As I tilted my head and asked, Sean started to fidget and dart his eyes around. Such an obvious reaction. At that time, I was with a friend. And that friend said, "Isn't that like cheating?" But that's impossible, right? There's no reason for you to cheat. Especially since we have Yvonne. What? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? When I mentioned cheating, Sean seemed genuinely surprised. And then, probably reflexively, he pushed my shoulder hard, sending me stumbling. Caught off guard, I fell onto the flooring, harshly hitting my palms and knees. Ouch! Cheating? I would never do such a thing. Don't spout such nonsense. But that's what I'm saying. There's no way that's true, right? Yes, it's your misunderstanding. Don't make such strange assumptions. It's bad for Yvonne. From the floor, I looked up at Sean as he shouted, spittle flying. He was incredibly agitated, probably because I hit a nerve. I never expected him to get physical. Though it wasn't much of a damage. In my apron pocket, I had a voice recorder hidden. This conversation should be recorded perfectly. First off, you going out with friends during the day? Neglecting housework, what are you doing? While I, am busy guiding subordinates at work. Useless wife. Sean's tirade only gained momentum. A little while ago, I would have been hurt and looked down immediately. But now, I am different. Sean's nonsensical insults just passed through me without effect. Such unreasonable things can't hurt me. Was this outburst because he couldn't relieve his stress on the business trip, I wonder? That thought made sense of his intensity. Anyway, when I'm out working for the family, were you even doing your part properly? Taking advantage of my absence to do as you please, neglecting housework, gallivanting around. Huh? Oops, I reacted without thinking. Then, Sean started laughing like a child. That reaction. You're the one, aren't you? Cheating, right. I never thought I married such a low woman. Why did I ever marry you? You're the bad influence on Yvonne, not me. A wife who doubts her husband isn't needed. Let's just divorce. What on earth is he talking about? I was dumbfounded. I was speechless with astonishment. Was his drinking always this bad? Had he been hiding it all this time? Sean kept hurling insults at me as if he hadn't said enough. It seemed like he didn't even understand what he was saying anymore. Honestly, I was getting bored of it. I had enough evidence, and I thought it was about time to wrap this up when suddenly... Dad! What are you doing? Don't bully Mom! Huh? Yvonne? Yvonne, in her pajamas, came rushing out as if to protect me. Apparently, Sean's loud yelling had woken her up. I hurriedly reassured Yvonne, not expecting her to witness such a scene. Yvonne, it's okay. Mom is fine, see? Now, you should go back to your room and sleep, or you won't be able to wake up early tomorrow, right? Yeah, Yvonne. Dad was not, bullying Mom. No, you were. You were yelling at Mom and pushed her. Mom fell down, and you didn't help at all, just kept yelling. Dad is mean. I hate Dad who bullies Mom. Yvonne raised her voice at Sean and jumped into my arms. Mom, are you okay? Does it hurt anywhere? Yvonne's eyes were trembling with anxiety. Not just her eyes. Her little hands and shoulders were shaking too. I wonder how much she saw. I was immediately flooded with regret. I should have considered the possibility that my daughter might witness this, that it could shock her, yet I acted thoughtlessly. I searched for soothing words and gently stroked Yvonne's head in my arms. Sean, having been shouted at by Yvonne that she hated him, stood there dumbfounded, seemingly shocked. Finally defeated, he silently headed to his own room without a word. Since that day, Yvonne has avoided Sean. Whenever Sean tried to make up with her, she would immediately run away and hide. After several such interactions, Sean seemed completely broken. He began to ignore me entirely and would retreat to his study as soon as he came home from work. The listening device I had placed in the study revealed Sean's state clearly. Sean, now withdrawn, started frequently contacting his affair partner. It seemed like he was using the speakerphone, so I could clearly hear the woman's voice. So yeah, because of my wife, my daughter started rejecting me. It's really tough. Now she runs away just at the sight of me. Wow, that's awful. Using your kid in a marital fight? Doesn't she have any maternal instincts? Exactly. Just like you said, Nadia, no maternal instincts. And she doesn't act like a wife either. Totally. I could be a much better wife to you, Sean. When can we finally be together? Well. I'd like to divorce and be with you, Nadia, but she's likely to make a fuss. Oh yeah, she's leeching off you for money, right? Not working and just living off you. What a parasite. You should divorce her ASAP. The conversation went on like this. Hearing this, I trembled with anger again. Who's the one lacking parental awareness? I felt like storming in and shouting at him. But in front of Sean and Yvonne, I acted as if nothing was wrong. Being ignored was still better than being verbally attacked. Then, 2 weeks later, Sean was set to go on another business trip. He mentioned it in passing, the only word he had said to me in a long time, but now I knew. This business trip was essentially a cheating vacation. From the listening device's conversations, it seemed they were also using company money for these trips. That's a serious crime, and it wasn't the first time he pretended to be on business trips when he was actually with his affair partner. This upcoming trip was no exception, supposedly for business, but actually a hot spring vacation with his affair partner. I had gathered enough evidence and was ready. It was time to act. Sean hadn't even noticed that mine and Yvonne's belongings were gradually disappearing from the house. I had had enough. On the day Sean left, I had the moving company, which I had already booked, come and move out the large furniture. Our belongings were taken to a new home, which I had already viewed and signed a lease for. Saving money before we got married was truly a good decision. I explained to Yvonne that we were separating from Sean. She was still young, but I didn't want to leave things ambiguous. Then Yvonne said, "So, Mom won't have to be yelled at by Dad anymore. When Dad is around, Mom always looks so sad. I don't need a dad who makes Mom look like that," and hugged me with a smile. I was saved by my daughter's kindness. And that was the most important thing of all. I left the house with the completed divorce papers and a certain envelope in hand. On the day Sean was due back, I was at my in-laws' house. Well, my former in-laws, to be precise. When I explained what Sean had done, with evidence to back it up, my in-laws were deeply sympathetic and took my side. That idiot son of ours. No, I refuse to acknowledge him as a son anymore. I'll disown him. Calm down, dear. Kelly, I'm so sorry our son has caused you so much trouble. To think he would cheat when he has such a lovely wife and daughter. They were ready to confront Sean right then and there, so I suggested we wait for him to contact us first. I waited in the living room with my mother-in-law for Sean's call. Yvonne played with her grandfather. Eventually, the phone rang. As expected, it was Sean. Hey! What's going on? The house is empty! He began the conversation by ranting. It was so predictable I almost laughed. What do you mean the house is empty? I mean everything's gone! It's like a ghost house. My stuff is still there, but where's everything belonging to you and Yvonne? Oh, because we moved out. We're not coming back to that house. When I calmly informed him, Sean was speechless. I could only imagine. Sean, standing alone in the dark, empty house, stunned. What? Moved out? What are you talking about? Well, we're strangers now. It wouldn't be right for strangers to stay in your house, so we moved out. What? What are you talking about? We're not strangers, we're married. No, we're strangers. After all, I've already submitted the divorce papers. Sean was speechless again at my words. I told him calmly. You wanted a divorce, right? You even said so to me before and had the divorce papers ready. I wanted a divorce too, so it worked out perfectly. It was all done with mutual consent. What? You found those divorce papers? Found them? More like they were right in front of my eyes. I thought you left them there on purpose. Like, please submit these. So, I did. And it's all been officially processed, so don't worry. No, I don't want that. Huh? No. That wasn't my intention. The divorce papers, that was just, a joke, kind of written in the heat of the moment. I didn't leave them there because I wanted you to submit them. Cancel it right now. Let's go to the office together. It's impossible to cancel it now. And claiming it was a joke is a lie, right? Did you write it to manipulate me by threatening with divorce? Or did your mistress tell you to write it? Huh? You might have thought you were hiding it, but it's been obvious for a while. I've thoroughly investigated the affair and your mistress. I'll be claiming both alimony and child support, so be prepared. What? You knew about the affair? I thought you were just a clueless wife. Thanks to you underestimating me, I quickly gathered a ton of evidence. Thanks for that. I said sarcastically. Oh, and I've informed your company about the affair. You two were using company money for trips, right? That's a crime. You knew that, didn't you? Oh. Sean let out a sigh of despair. Having said what I wanted to, I handed the phone to my mother-in-law. Leave the rest to us. Her strong voice reassured me, and I nodded. Yvonne, let's go play over there. Okay. I took Yvonne from my father-in-law and left the living room. As I closed the door, I could feel my in-laws' anger exploding. That was the end of our marriage. I sighed. Our divorce was irrevocable, and we went our separate ways. Sean and his mistress were both fired from their company. The misused funds were covered by Sean's savings and the rest by my in-laws, leaving Sean broke. After disowning Sean, my in-laws only communicate through lawyers now. Sean, now with nowhere to go, lives with his equally destitute mistress, bickering constantly. And of course, he has to pay alimony and child support, so he's working tirelessly. Please, let me see Yvonne at least. He once called with a feeble voice, but I coldly replied, didn't we agree all communications should go through our lawyers? I can't let someone who can't even keep that promise see her, and hung up. As a single mother, I've managed to restart my career using my old connections. I'm the only one who can protect Yvonne now. For my sake and, more importantly, for my daughters, I've vowed to live a new life.